Wow, y'all, Beth is brutal. I posted a video tonight and the comment I got was, I'm still waiting for part 2 of the flood vlog from Mumbai. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I don't know if I'll get it posted tonight or not, and I'm going to try to put some India flood pictures from the flood story I'm telling. Where I left off was we got back to the hotel and all that, I think. This is part 2 of my never-ending story of this week's monsoon disaster in Mumbai. So we walked up to the front of the hotel, exhausted, wet from head to toe, drained, hungry, thirsty, and a little bit traumatized by the whole experience we had just been through. At this point, all any of us wanted was to be able to peel off our clothes, which were now soaked with the filth from the flood, gasoline that had leaked from cars underwater, debris floating around, dead animals, and people, as we later discovered, and the like. We all just wanted to get showers and get some real sleep for the first time in 2 days. So when we walked into the hotel lobby and realized the power was not on, we were a little bit disappointed, but still looking forward to going to our rooms for some rest and to be able to shower and throw our clothes away. We all made it to our rooms around 12:45 Wednesday afternoon. Shortly after getting to our rooms, we each received a letter telling us that due to unprecedented rains in Mumbai, there was a power outage and the hotel had been running on diesel backup generators for the past 18 hours. The letter also stated that if more diesel could not be delivered by 4:00 p.m., just a couple hours after we arrived, there would be a complete blackout of electrical services to the hotel. Well, around 3 o'clock, the hotel staff began coming around room to room, making us leave our rooms and go down to the hotel lobby and main restaurant so that energy could be conserved. I guess they figured if no one was in their room, no one could use up the short supply of power we had via the generators. So with only about 45 minutes rest, we all headed down to the lobby and began yet another unpleasant saga. But this one was not as bad as the one we had faced earlier that day. Laura and Deborah offered up their minibar items for us to share. Laura and Tracy had to sneak back up to their rooms to retrieve the snacks, since the hotel restaurants and other services weren't available for eating, and we were all very hungry. So we sat around a table and ate chips, cookies, dehydrated banana chips, sodas, and we were pretty satisfied for the time being. Shortly thereafter, the hotel staff began coming around announcing that they would serve a limited dinner buffet at 7:30 p.m. So we decided to wait for that and try to eat together if possible. Sure enough, right at 7:30, they opened a small but much appreciated buffet to all the hotel guests, and by the time we finished eating, we were all ready to go to our rooms and sleep. We were told we would be able to use our air conditioning by 10 o'clock in our rooms, so we headed up for some rest. At this point, the phones were still not working, nor were any cell phones or internet connections. I decided to go ahead and try to sleep until the morning, when I would try to use the phone again. And this is off the blog, but I hadn't talked to my family in over 2 days at that point, and they all knew about the flooding that was going on, so no one back in the U.S. had heard from any of us in over 2 days, and it was all the buzz among our family and friends. I requested a wake-up call for 7:30 a.m., at which time I woke up having slept all night and promptly picked up the phone to find that it was working again. I was relieved to be able to call Darla and my mom to let them know everything was all right and we were resting comfortably at the hotel. Tracy, Laura, Tanya, Jennifer, and myself decided to take a walk down the street to see what things looked like. At that time, we were also informed that the hotel power was back up and running with no restrictions. We walked down the corner of our street, which was under a couple of feet of water just the day before, and found the street was no longer flooded. We were amazed as I took some pictures of the street, just so I could be able to show people where we had been in the water, to try to give some perspective. We were lucky because much of the city is still, and some still are under a good deal of water. In the meantime, we've learned that many things have happened as a result of the rain and flooding. For example, some 20,000 goats, 3,500 buffalo, countless sheep, dogs, etc. had died. Also, several hundred people have lost their lives. The exact death toll is still unclear, as there is much to still be cleaned up and sorted through. 2 of our drivers, Mantesh and Irfan, both suffered significant flood damage to their homes. Mantesh's wife and 2 young children had to sit on the bed with an umbrella over them just to stay out of the water and rain. Mentesh also lost his refrigerator, television, clothes, and much of his other belongings in the flood, and yet he arrived promptly today to pick up Deborah for work. This is a testament of the sheer dedication to their jobs, and also about how much they value their employment. Not to mention, our drivers, after having dropped us off to walk to the hotel that day, had to turn the cars around, drive them back to our office and park them in the garage, then proceed to walk up to 12 hours in chest-high water to get to their homes. The area where Mentesh lives is near what is referred to in Mumbai as a slum area, which is sort of like an endless development of makeshift housing communities constructed of various materials: tarps, aluminum sheets, various pieces of wood, and particle board. Last night, Thursday, I was trying to fall asleep and I caught a live breaking news story about some activities in the slum area near where Mentesh lives. Apparently some folks started rumors among the slum dwellers that a tsunami was about to hit right near their homes, and it caused a chaotic rush to safety and higher ground. During this rush, 16 people were crushed under the feet of the crowds. Most all were women and children. Many others were injured, and when I went to bed, there were about 400 people waiting outside the hospital on that side of town waiting to get in. It was very hard to watch on local television news stations, knowing that I was not far away from it all, and knowing that I was seemingly safe and comfortable, while others were living a nightmare. We went to work today to find almost no absenteeism among the local staff here. There were some folks who simply could not make it to the office due to transportation problems, but for the most part everyone was there and shifts were opening as though nothing had happened. Again, an amazing thing. Of course, there are some sad stories to be told among the employees at work, but no one told us stories that were what I would call sob or woe is me stories. Most people are just thankful to have escaped injury or death, and glad that their families are fine. The truth is, they were all terribly concerned about us and our safety through the whole ordeal. They feel as though we're their guests in the country, and would have hated for anything to happen to us, and they hated that we even had to go through this at all. We were also instructed by our company physician that we should try to get on another antibiotic since we are likely exposed to some pretty bad stuff in the water on Wednesday, and disease is likely to begin running rampant in the city. So Laura stopped at the concierge desk just before dinner last night, and antibiotics were delivered to our table as we ordered our food. The hotel was again extraordinarily helpful. Today on the way to work, you could begin to see where the process of cleaning up the mess is just the very beginning stages. There are piles of trash and debris on every corner, oftentimes being picked through by animals, street families, and the like. It will take a while for the city to get back to where it was only a few days ago. There hasn't been this much rainfall in such a short period of time in over 100 years in Mumbai. Approximately 32 inches of rain fell onto Mumbai in 5 hours. Obviously none of us could have ever seen anything like this before, nor will we probably ever see it again. I suppose that's it for now. On the agenda for tomorrow is a brief shopping trip to get some new black shoes for work, as mine were ruined in the water and likely infested with various bacteria. So I will update soon if I have more to repost, but I think I've pretty much summed up the events of the week. Thanks again for all of you who have sent messages of encouragement and prayers. It really is appreciated and wonderful to know that even though we're 10,000 miles away from home, we're still very close to you all when it's needed the most. Doug and everyone. And I'll stop it there. Here are some pictures. See if you can see these. This is walking through the floods. There's a picture of a woman and daughter just standing in the water, clearly not knowing what to do next. This is what the streets were like walking back from the office to the hotel. Pretty much just everybody walking. There's a rickshaw ruined by the water. The pictures are just endless. If you go out to Google and Google the words Mumbai flood 1995 or Mumbai flood July 2005 or Mumbai floods July 2005, you'll find pictures, or YouTube videos you could probably find also. These ones I got from the Associated Press, as I didn't have my camera with me as we were walking. So there you go, Beth, that's it. I'm at 10 minutes. Enjoy. Bye.